special guest today is Sonny Emory. He's a drummer, a percussionist, a singer, and a songwriter. On November 17th, just a couple days ago, he and his new group released their self-titled debut, Sonny and the Seventh Time. He is joined on the album by longtime friend, bassist Sam Sims, and Sonny's sons, Nic Gibran, vocals and keys, and Ni Emory. He's the master engineer. In addition to drumming, he takes center stage with lead vocals on 3 of the songs. He's a co-writer of 6 of the tracks on the album, and he's in the background vocals and keys throughout. Sonny, welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for having me again. It's having a lot of fun talking to you.
Yeah, me too. It's just love what you're doing. I love the energy, the work that you're putting out. You're on tour. You just dropped your album. We're going to play at the end of this Don't Go Anywhere. At the end of the show, we're going to play the first song off the album, Lost in the Sunshine.
Yeah.
So we're talking about you. We're talking about your ancestors and where the rhythm comes from. If you missed any of it, go back and check it out on the podcast. I don't know if you told me, when did you actually start drumming and picking up the drums?
I started playing drums at the age of 4. I told you before, my father was an educator and played sax. So he kind of shoved the sax in my mouth first. But because he was an educator, he had, several instruments around the house. So I had a set of bongos there. And I gravitated to the bongos, and him being the teacher, he and my mom being the educators they are, they jump right on that. That's what he wants to do. Yeah. Next thing I know, man, I had a nice little small miniature kit, Japanese kit by a company called Zimgar, of actual, real wooden drums, but they're a miniature size. And I started playing, and the rest is history, and I started playing with my father and grandfather, and I was playing in clubs with my dad when I was like 7, 8 years old.
Oh, that's incredible. You were able to get into clubs?
Well, my dad was the band leader.
Mustache on you?
I tell you a funny story though. My dad used to have to hire another guy. I would play as long as I could before I got tired, before I got sleepy, And then one day my mom said, I guess my mom and dad had a little tiff about the money and how he was paying the band. And she said, I overheard her telling him in the kitchen, "You better make sure my baby gets paid."
Your first manager.
Yeah, exactly. Momager.
Momager. Yeah, you had a momager. Yeah. I love the idea. Do you tell Eric, like, hey, if I get a little tired, can I take a nap?
I don't think that'll work nowadays, but hey, dude,
I watched someone like you, the professional like you, a drummer like you, just the energy that I'm not taking away from anything from the other musicians, but that energy, drumming and playing all the different instruments, as you mentioned, on the drum kit there. Is there anything like, that's an exercise. Well, I watched Mick one night do that, and for 72 years old, and he and the Fleet was on Front Street in his own club, right, hanging it out. Steven Tyler, the front.
You got to be.
I watched him for hours. What shape do you have to be in?
You have to be in crazy shape, man. It's like, I have a funny story I always tell right quick. When I played with Cameo, and my very first gig with Cameo was in Denver, Colorado. So being young, I was in college, and I hadn't really committed to my workout regime yet. So I was just like hanging out, playing every night, going out on dates and doing my thing. I wasn't worried about working out, I got the gig with Cameo. So here we are in Denver playing this high energy funk gig, and I'm just sucking wind, man. I'm like asking for water every 2 seconds. Larry Blackman looks back at me, and he sees what's going on with me, and he screams over the mic to the tech, "Don't give him any more water. Don't give him any more water." So the tech couldn't come out. So I was struggling, man. I was really, really struggling. So after that, I made
it sounds like abuse. No water.
I made a total commitment, man, to get my behind in the gym and to stay in the gym, and I've tried to do that. I mean, I swim a lot, I lift. I've been practicing yoga now for about 30 years. And so I mean, it really makes for an easier night for me, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
the travel schedule in and of itself is gonna deplete you of some rest and deprive
Yeah.
you of some rest, you know what I mean? So the better shape that you can be in when you hit that stage, the better off you're gonna be, you know?
Do you practice breathing? I
Yeah.
can imagine breathing comes into that, some
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
working your lungs and
that's a part of the drumming technique that I teach all of my students, how to not be so tense in your upper body, how to breathe and flow freely, let air flow in and out of your body freely so that you can stay relaxed and fluid behind the drum set. And the more you can do that, then you can kind of cruise. You can still play with power, but it's not tense. You know, your
Mhm.
body's not tense, so you're not using as much energy.
I saw something about recently about how people hold their breath a lot now on their computers when they're
Yeah,
typing or they're doing something creative when it matters, they hold
yeah.
they find
Holding the
themselves
breath.
holding their breath, and how it really messes up your thinking and
Yeah,
your physical. And so I imagine, breathing has got to be
yeah.
really
It's
important
paramount.
for what
Yeah,
you do. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
obviously for all of us, we need to breathe, but
but I can look at a guy play and tell whether or not he's relaxing or breathing or not. It's just a body language thing, and I can see it.
Mhm.
And when I have students and they start to go down that path, we stop and I'll work on just that, you know, just breathing and opening up the up
Interesting.
the upper chest and mhm.
Well, your new band, Sonny and the Seventh Time, includes your two sons.
Yeah,
Tell me about Nick and Ni.
yeah, they're both incredible musicians, man. They both play keys. They're both excellent songwriters. Nigel, the oldest, is more of I mean, he does sing, but he likes spoken word. So he does
Okay.
a lot of rap. He's featured on the album. He's rapping on one
Oh
track
yeah.
on the record.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, Tiptoe.
Tiptoe.
And Nicholas is more of the singer-songwriter. He's actually, a accomplished vocalist. I mean, great singer. He was kind of coaching me with my vocal approach, and but he plays keys and does a lot of writing. So I mean, he brought a couple of tunes to the table, and we started developing them together. He'll bring something and he would have programmed the drums and he goes, Dad, you need to put some drums on this. And I always mess with him, Jeremiah. I go, okay, well, what kind of budget do you have, son?
Yeah. I don't come cheap. I play
Yeah,
with Eric
right.
Clapton, Earth,
Exactly.
Wind and Fire, Bruce Hornsby. I
Exactly.
mean, come on.
Not only that, I
I
fed
love
you.
you, son, but
Yeah, not only that, I fed you since day one. Now you want me to play drum tracks?
yeah. And you probably go back to your mom, your momager, when like
Yeah.
I gotta get
Yeah,
paid.
right. Yeah. My
I
mom's,
it's
yeah, but
instilled.
then my wife flips it on me. Well, my baby has to
Yeah.
get paid
I
too.
do gotta get
Yeah,
paid.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we have a lot of fun, man. So I'm really proud of, first of all, they're great young men. They're both college grads, and they're doing their thing. I'm very proud of them. And I have a label, Emory Music Group, EMG, and they're obviously a part of EMG. They're going to be releasing some music on their own pretty soon, and we're going to be signing some new acts, and they're going to be kind of like my A&R guys,
I
because they
hope you bring
just
him
have.
here, Sonny. I hope you bring him here.
Oh
You're at
yeah, oh
your
yeah,
meeting.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah. We will, buddy.
Be
We
honored.
definitely, yeah, we definitely will, man. I mean, Sunny and the Seventh Time is the what first project um that we're just
The
really
label.
pushing on EMG, but there are going to be some others, lots of others.
I want to go back to your sons for a second. You said they're both good men. How what do you, as a father, what do you instill as a, what makes a good man, and how do you teach that to your sons?
Well, the first thing that I teach them is respect and honor God and honor the gift that He's given them, because I want them to realize that not everybody has the gift of music the way that they do. They're both child prodigies. You know what I mean? They were just like I was, you know.
Just point to me and say, do you want to be like him? He's got no musical gifts. Don't be
Yeah.
like Jeremiah.
No, dude. I mean, we all have gifts, you know what I mean? We all have gifts. We just express them in different ways, you know. And so that's what I've been trying to instill in them since they were babies. Is like, and the other thing is, look, you know what? Okay, so now you have this gift, but just because you have the gift doesn't mean that success is just gonna fall in your lap. You have to work. You have to work hard, in order to succeed, and make smart decisions and honor your commitments. That's something that I'm big on. You got to honor your commitments. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
just, yeah,
And
don't.
they will stand out, especially these days, at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah, man. Because
If you're
character.
following that rule, yeah, follow
Yeah, yeah,
showing up and
yeah, exactly, man.
others.
Yeah,
I think it's so important to talk about what makes a good man, especially to young men.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
The name of the band, actually, The Seventh Time. Does that relate to anything?
Yeah, it does. I was reading a biblical passage, and there's a famine. I mean, a drought, and I believe it's in Kings. And Elijah prayed for rain, and he sent his assistant out to see if there were any signs of rain. Uh, but on the seventh time, his assistant came back and reported that there was a little cloud about the size of a man's hand forming way off in the distance. And within 2 or 3 minutes, there was a massive rainstorm. So on the seventh time is when that rain came in, the blessing of the rains came in.
And what does that story say? What is the parable, I guess, or
The
the
parable there is to have faith,
have faith?
even though that was 7 times.
Hmm.
I mean, Elijah could have given up after the first or second time or third, even the fourth time, but his faith kept him solid, So
I,
God delivered on the seventh time, and it's God's timing, man. So you just never know. And it just struck me because I was in the middle of this project and just trying to, and going, okay, do I really want to do this? Um, and and I had to come to grips with, okay, I can't worry about it being successful. I have to have faith and I have to know that it's going to be successful. So when I read that, it just resonated with me. I say, okay, so yeah, it's going to happen. It may not
mhm.
happen when I want it to happen, you know, the fourth time, the fifth time, but it may happen. So the seventh time, just kind of rang in my brain and in my heart when I read that. And I was like, oh man, that'd be the killer name for the group, man. So I wanted just the seventh time. I didn't want to put my name up front, but then all of my whole team and everybody, Cheryl included, everybody was like, no, you need to stick your name in front of that.
Mm,
So that's why it's Sonny and the seventh time. And then, everybody started telling me, I like the ring. I like the way it sounds, like I
me
like it,
too. I do too. Well, there's a question I have for that, but I actually need to take another break. Let's take that break though and promote what you got coming up. Um, so let's see, the 23rd and the 24th. God, we're there.
Yeah.
World renowned drummer Sonny Emory is currently on tour with Eric Clapton. Jeez, Eric Clapton. I just say that name and years of music come back to me, hitting me and knocking me over like a wave. I mean, he's just so it's one of the to me, it's one of the names that you just think, wow, what a
Yeah,
body of
iconic.
work and iconic, and to put out, and all the different memories, the music. I bet the tour is just incredible. The show,
Mhm.
with the music and the years of our lives that we've shared with Eric Clapton. The tragedies and the good
Right.
times and the bad times. Um, so it is the 23rd and 24th of September. They're at the Crypto Arena in LA. And if you're not there, get down there. There's also a new album. Sonny and the Seventh Time. The album is entitled The Seventh Time. Lost in the Sunshine's coming up here in a minute. It's the single, and check out the video. It's really a lot of fun. Is that your family, Sonny, in the video? And where are you guys?
That's Nicholas on the beach with me.
Okay.
But that's a friend of mine, the young lady who's dancing in the video. That's Kira DaCosta. We did a lot of work with Bette Midler. She was one of Bette Midler's dancers. And
Okay.
she just had recently moved to Atlanta. And I was like, oh man, this is perfect timing. Would you please do this video with me? She's like, yeah, sure. So we did that. And then obviously you saw the band, my band, in a couple of scenes. Sam is in the band. And then my guitarist, his name is Theo Koutsidis. He's from Greece. I call him the Greek freak because he's so bad, man. And
every Greek I met's a freak too, in a good way.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, so that's the band, man. In the video, you know, we just kind of just introducing the band.
Where was it shot? Looks
We
like
shot the beach scenes. You mean the beach scenes were shot down in Florida?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. So this weekend, legendary guitarist Eric Clapton, Crossroads Guitar Festival, 23rd and 24th at the Crypto, arenacrypto.com. Get some tickets. You can get, I wonder if, can you get tickets through your website, Sonny?
No, not through mine, but you can go to, I think, ericclapton.com.
Find them. If they, is it sold out yet, or
I think it's getting close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be close.
Yeah.
2 nights. Check it out. All right. We'll be right back. Sonny Emory.